So the goal was to understand if the VR is good enough to replace home usage test or replace CLT, to see if there is a differences in the design that influence the likability of different products. We added 3 cells in the research. First cell was the CLT, the second was home usage test, and the third was VR. And we conduct a sequential monadic test with 2 versions of energy bar, or cereal bar, which include chocolate chips inside. The total was 180, so it was 60 participants in each cell. The first product for all kind of question regarding hedonic question, overall liking, purchase intention, and just about right question, and then they move on to the second product. And in the end, we ask preference, which kind of product you preferred. Okay, so for the VR, it was very interesting. We use the brain view methodology. It is a special companies that has the special technology for VR. It was a 30-60 degree movie, so we program for energy bar. We thought that the more reliable context will be gym. So it was movie of gym. So when you put your goggles on your eyes, you saw a gym, and you can walk around the gym, and you see all kind of instruments and all kind of people that working out, and you read everything. And we program the energy bar in the movie, so you can actually see the energy bar, and the interviewer just put it in your mouth, but you actually do it by yourself, but it's not really happening. So this is what we are using for the VR as a gym. And the cell for hot home usage test, it was in a real gym. We went in a real gym, and the people that walk out from the gym after their exercise sit down and answer questions regarding those 2 products. And the cell for the CLT, it was a CLT, regular CLT with controlled room, white, light, and everything, and they sit down and add energy. First of all, we saw that the CLT and home usage test, the results were very similar, also for the hedonic overall evaluation and also for the comparative findings. And they were similar. There was no differences between the product. Both products were like at the same level, and there was no preference for any kind of the product. But in the VR, we saw different things. We saw that there is a significant advantage for the chewy variant of the energy bar. As I told you, we have 2 variants for energy bar. One was chewy, and the other was crunchy. Both of them had chocolate chips, but the chewy had extra layer of chocolate in the bottom, and the texture was chewy. The crunchy was much more crunchy, much more hard energy, but without a layer of chocolate in the bottom. And in the result, we saw there is a significant advantage for the chewy version. And we couldn't understand why, because in the CLT, there was a similar acceptance for the product and also for the home usage test. So why the VR condition give a significantly advantage for the chewy version? So we started to think about it, and we think about it a little bit more, and we bring more people to the project because we didn't know what's happened. And then we understood that we had a mistake. At the VR, when we programmed the 2 versions of the energy bar in the VR, we only programmed the chewy one. The chewy had layer of chocolate in the bottom, and the texture was much more chewy, and it's extra flavored chocolate because of this layer of chocolate. But the crunchy doesn't include this layer of chocolate. So when you taste it, as looking as the chewy with the extra layer, so the chocolate flavor was much more mild. And your expectation was that it will be very strong chocolate flavor. So there was mismatching between your expectation and the product itself. So we understood we made a mistake, because when you taste the chewy with a layer of chocolate, it fits your expectation with a very strong chocolate flavor. But when you taste the crunchy without the real version of its appearance, there is mismatching with your expectation. So this is why the chewy one had higher liking and also preference for him. So by this mistake, we understood a lot of things. After that, we correct and we did everything okay. And we find that there is no differences between the acceptability of the products between VR, home usage test, and CLT. So it was good. First of all, we understood that the CLT can be a very good tool to predict the overall valuation of the product. So we can keep using CLT. It's okay. Also, home usage test, it's very strong methodology with the same result as the CLT, but of course it's more reliable because it's really the real context of using the product. So if you have more budget and you have time, keep using home usage test. But when can we use VR, this new methodology? When we have very novel products and the consumer cannot predict, cannot imagine when they are going to consume it. So the VR can help them to imagine where to consume it. So this is one condition. The second condition, if it's a product that is going to be consumed in a social kind of things, for example, pub or party or restaurant or canteen or whatever, something that you are going to consume with different people. So it is much more expensive to do the research there. But with the VR, it's much more easier to program party or restaurant or something like that. So we understood when we can use VR, when it is the right situation for using VR, but we can also still using CLT, so it's this good old methodologic still predict and can be very beneficial. So if you have, for example, a situation that you are in the R&D people and you are not knowing which kind of appearance need to be in the product, which kind of color, which kind of shape. And by trying to do all kind of producing this kind of version, it will be very expensive. But we can program it in the VR, in a different version of appearance, and the product will be the same, and you will taste it as the same, but you can see it in a different shape and colors. So it can predict which appearance will be much more suitable to the product without invest more money on it. So it could be very beneficial for that also.